Hello, everyone. So, today we will be looking at transference and counter-transference in counseling. Now, these two topics should remind you about Sigmund Freud psychoanalytic theory. Well, a very common issue. Let us look at it a little bit more. Sometimes in counseling, the past affects the present, and the present sometimes determine the future of the counseling process, the result, that is. So, transference is when a client evoke an unresolved past situation, emotion, feeling, trauma, or encounter they have with a family, a friend, to the counselor. Sometimes they identify you with these past experiences and they might put you in place of it and just to release how they feel. And these things sometimes affect the counseling process in a negative or positive way. Now, in counseling, most times the clients are vulnerable and they come for care to the counselor. And things happen in the unconscious mind. Get me? So it's like, for example, countertransference is when the counselor transfers their feelings towards their client. And this is unconscious most of the times. We are human beings, and it could be that something in this client remind the counselor of something about them, and they transfer the feelings towards their client. All right? How does this affect the counseling process? Is there a problem? Counter-transference can be difficult in that the counselor might not be able to set clear professional boundaries. Now, for example, I always say, for me, the line of demarcation must be very clear between me and my client. And in doing that, we don't get too friendly as counseling clients. No, because when you get too friendly, you may say things out of terms or do things out of terms. So you have to make sure you maintain professional boundaries at all times. Now, sometimes countertransference causes, in that process, you might develop emotional relationship or friendly relationship that should not be happening, right? Now, for counseling, a counselor must maintain client-counselor relationship, not friendly relationship. You and your clients should not be friends, where you hang out on weekends, where they call you sometimes, and those things. No, get me? So if you find yourself doing that, then you are going through countertransference, and you have to put a stop to it. All right, maintain professionalism at all times. And so sometimes we have to be very careful when we counsel our clients. We don't get too carried away in the conversation because we might be just projecting our experiences, our traumas that has nothing to do with the client's immediate need. So we have to really be objective as counselors. Be careful that we are not going too far in their problems by putting ourselves out there on them. All right, remember again that This can affect the treatment plan. So make sure that you are using the goals in your treatment plan to guide the counseling process. Now, what can you do as a counselor if you are faced with challenges such as countertransference and transferences in counseling? So, first thing you can do is to be honest about yourself. Be honest about yourself and share this with your client. Have a conversation. Say, I think that over the past weeks we are having a little bit of misinterpretation and we're going too far, and this is affecting the counseling process. Now, sometimes, let me just share that sometimes in counseling, the counselor develop feeling like intimate feeling for the client and vice versa, right? Remember again that you really don't want to do any malpractice right here, and remember we must follow ethics in counseling so that we are professionals at all times. So if you are faced with these challenges, it is ethical, it is the right thing to, yes, ethics are important. So if you're having a challenge with transference and or countertransference with you and or your client, and you have had a conversation with them about what you're feeling and what they are feeling, or what you're doing and what they are doing, and you don't get any result, it's not working out for you, you have tried speaking to a colleague about exploring other options, how to fix the case, then, and that doesn't work, then you might have to refer the case if you are having challenge to cope, right? So the best thing to do is to refer that case. It is ethical to refer. It's better to prevent than to cure. Alright, so what does the policy say about transference and countertransference? Well, truth be told, the guidance and counseling policy does not speak directly to transference and countertransference. But guess what? The ministry have its policy that helps to govern how guidance counselors are to operate from a moral principle standpoint. The policy speak about stuff like dismissal of guidance counselors. Alright, so look at it. For example, so the policy outlines dismissal of a guidance counselor if they commit offense such as violence and sexual contact with a child. Sexual offenses or violent offenses with a child, you can be dismissed for that. The policy places strong emphasis